Wake Up with Jim and Sab is exclusively on Spotify.
And if you want to start your own podcast, you can check out anchor.fm.
If you love the pod and you want to support us, make sure you follow us on Spotify. Also, you can tag us on Instagram and Twitter at Wake Up with Jim and Sab.
Welcome to the Wake Up with Jim and Sab Oh my gosh. Lungs of steel.
30 seconds lang yun?
Well, if you're still listening to this, even after that, we love you. Thank you so much. So, we have been enjoying our other podcast, Makinig Ka Muna. Makinig Ka Muna. Ika na ba yan? Sounds creepy.
Makinig ka
It's
muna.
creepy when you do it, Jim.
Makinig ka muna.
But yes, we've got another podcast called Makinig Ka Muna. If you want to listen to that, pwedeng makinig ka muna doon. But this episode is actually inspired by episode 2 of Makinig Ka Muna. That episode was about this girl, about this group of friends, tapos meron silang girlfriend na may asawa, ang haba naman ito, na parang feeling nila may mga red flags. So it made me and Jim think, gaano ba ka-fine yung line between red flags, non-flags, or baby pink flags na pwede pang makuskus ng bleach?
Ganda talaga ng baby pink flags.
Thank you.
Kasi that's what we talked about dun sa MKM eh. MKM is makinig ka
Makinig
muna.
ka
We talked about, sabi namin like, as friends, kumari yun nga, if you have a friend na, yun nga, like lagi na lang may problema sa love life, tapos tatanungin ka, hindi makikinig sa'yo. And then usually they get into, a relationship that you don't approve of.
Yeah.
And like, as a friend, like, at what point do you become parang sobra ka na ba? Alam mo yun, parang
Yes.
kwari, let's say in that letter, kinasal na yung tao eh. Pero if yung complaints niya ay mabaho yung hininga or something, parang babaw naman nun. So parang alam naman natin yung extremes. Like if you're a cheater, if anti-vaxxer ka, then yun yung extremes.
Yes.
Pero of course, the other side of that extreme rin is, yun nga, kumari, let's say you eat with your mouth open or something like that. Like, who cares?
Hindi naman nata yun reason.
Hindi yun reason
hindi
to
siya
say,
deal breaker.
don't fall in love with that person, di ba? Sige, so...
Yun nga, actually, when I just came up with this right now, but I was thinking, I'm gonna try to go for this metaphor and we'll see if it works or not. Pero para siyang labada na when it's all, nako, hindi magigets ni Jim to, di naglalaba. Charot! Joke lang. Pero sa labada, diba, you have to like separate the colored and the whites. So, tapos pag mahaluan yung whites mo ng red, magiging pink yung whites mo. So sometimes, it's like that na medyo may bad influence lang sila or medyo may mga nahaluan ng bad habits from their childhood passed on to them by their parents. So sometimes, meron mga baby pink na kaya pa namang
makuskus?
makuskus or ammonia. Charot. Bakit pati?
Mali.
No, bleach. Anyway, but I hope that makes sense.
Ako naman, on your analogy, I think it's also parang, kasi diba when you make laba, I think yung paghalo ng red and nagkakaroon ng baby pink, yun nga, baka sometimes, yun nga, let's say, the guy, he cheated, or, let's say, he has one major red flag.
Sunugin na yun.
Hindi, kunwari lang.
Joke lang.
3 years bago naging sila ng friend mo, he was a cheater.
Okay.
Kunwari.
Okay.
And then, technically, parang in their relationship now, parang wala namang signs of cheating, he's pretty okay. Pero those little things that annoy you will become times 10. Kasi
Mhm.
alam mo, tangin, gago yan eh.
Mm.
Dahil may major red flag eh.
Mm.
Anyway, I don't know why we're so invested in this analogy.
I am invested in it. I think it's also because to be quite honest, there are no white flags. Completely white flags. Diba? Wala namang perfect eh. And I asked it on Instagram. Ano ba itong baby pink flags na sa tingin nyo? What passes as a baby pink flag? And when I was going through the answers, I think, Jim, it's gonna be fun because you haven't seen the answers. We're gonna do a thing called baby pink or red or non-flag.
Okay.
And I think before we go through the list, I think it's important to note na marami dito masasolve kung yes or no ba, kung baby pink or red or non-flag, if you communicate, which is always our advice to everyone, is you just have to communicate with your partner. Okay?
So what are the options? Baby pink.
Baby pink, red or non-flag.
Dapat white na lang.
Wala kang white eh. O sige, white.
That's
sorry,
the equivalent of...
Linis mo eh. Tangina, linis mo eh. Hayop.
Sinil mo, hayop. Tangina mo.
Hugas flag. Grabe ka maghugas flag. Anyway, okay, game. Number 1. Well, I'm not gonna number it because medyo marami. Game.
So,
Let's just go.
ano ba? Fast?
Let's go quickly. But if you feel like you have to say
This is
something, go ahead.
fun. You should always...
I know, right?
You should always produce the pod.
I know, right?
You're so good.
Okay. Nagtatago ng pera.
What do you mean? Like,
Hindi ko alam, yun lang yung sinabi niya, nagtatago ng pera. So like hiding it from you. Tinanslate ko lang.
again, it depends kasi kung...
Is he really hiding it?
Yeah, parang what if, let's say, he has his own drawer
Hmm.
and then has his cash there or has his own bank account? Parang ako...
Number
It depends on
number
ano ba
one,
yung
how
usapan
did you
nyo.
find out? Kung if it is a drawer
Yeah.
full of cash, then you just ask.
Yeah.
Like,
Pero
hey,
again, depende sa usapan nyo.
ano to?
Kasi may mga couples na naman na they establish na
Yeah.
pera, bahala ka sa buhay mo.
Mm,
Basta magbayad ka sa rent
yes.
or something.
Yeah, pay your half or whatever. Yeah.
So ako,
Unknown.
yeah,
Lost flag.
kulang sa context.
We are lost flags. Shut up.
KSC, kulang sa context.
I think lahat nito. Hindi. Yung iba dito, may context naman. Gets naman. Okay. Next is, slightly gets upset when you spend time with your friends. Enjoy.
Enjoy?
Enjoy.
Ako, the thing is, ano ba, personal to?
I think it depends. Kung college ka, medyo, I think, madalas ganyan.
Red yung enjoy. Kung
Enjoy.
kasi, ano ba sabi? Kasi,
To be fair, Jim, I think, yung mga stuff dito, may ibang stuff dito na, this is exactly what I'm talking about. May ibang stuff dito, and we may or may not disclose it, that you and I,
pinagdaanan.
yes, mga pinagdaanan natin to, and that's to say that baby pink flags usually are redeemable.
And subjective.
Subjective.
And depending, and again, DSC, depende sa context.
Siguro ito na lang, para clear, it is subjective, but this is Wake Up with Jim and Saab, so it is subject to our opinion.
Okay.
Game.
Sige, so, and for that, yung si
Enjoy.
enjoy.
Mga babe, hang out lang ako with my girls. Sige.
Ina mo, ge.
Wala namang ina mo. Okay.
Ge.
Okay. Enjoy.
Ako, to everyone except Saab, that was a red flag. I hated that.
KSC. Kulang sa context.
Ikaw?
Kulang sa context eh.
Yeah.
Kasi depends eh kung ilan taon na ba kayo, gano'n na ba kayo
Yeah.
kasi, pero red flag siya kung matagal na kayo tapos ganun pa rin. Kasi kung bago pa lang kayo, and then, actually medyo baby pink flag siya. Actually red flag siya. Kasi parang bakit? But
Hindi, tayo,
Bakit
matagal na tayo nun eh. Pero
what? What are you talking about?
parang,
Ay, yung office mate mong in love sa'yo? Ayan! Check out. But it was true. Turned out to be right. I turned out to be right.
no,
FYI.
I'm not talking about that.
Ah, okay.
I'm talking about lang the general of that group.
Ano? What?
Kumbaga parang kaya nga depende talaga siya sa context nung parang paano kunwari, let's say, kunwari ako, I didn't like you hanging out with this certain group of people.
Mhm.
So, would that have been a red flag if ako parang gay?
Gay.
Pero ang thought, kunwari ikaw, your thought behind this was like, don't hang out with those people because one of those is obsessed with you. Ako, kunwari, let's say, gago tong mga to, di ba? So, KSC.
And yun yung thing eh. I think it's a baby pink flag because at least hindi kanya pinagbabawalan. Hindi ba? Pero may pink flag siya kasi parang, ba't pinapag-guilty mo ako na gusto kong makahangout yung friends ko?
Pero normal lang naman yung ganong dynamic sa relationship eh.
It's normalized. It shouldn't be the norm, but it's normalized. The thing is, a lot of these things usually stem from issues that they have with themselves and their traumas from the past. So, baby pink flags are there to signal you that you have to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay? Okay. So, kung trip mo talaga siya, kausap mo na parang, may problema ba? Charot. Okay. Di nagsasabit ng towel sa banyo after maligo. Actually, may series to. Dadaanan lang yung kalat o hugasin sa lababo. Hindi marunong mag-clay go, clean as you go. Hindi pagtapon ng basura sa proper place. Hindi nagre-refill ng tubig sa ref. Yeah, so that's
basically
a series.
makalat.
Makalat. Tsaka hindi nag-clean up after themselves or I think if you read into it, it could mean that they're selfish, but it could also mean that they're just it doesn't bother them.
Nakasanayan nila paglaki.
It doesn't bother them.
That's how they were. Yeah, again, nakakatawa lahat. Talaga to subjective eh. Kasi, for example, yun nga, you have to realize kasi like, for us nga pala, tama.
Yeah.
For me, well,
Ako, I would leave stuff out. But not that I was expecting Jim to fix it. Of course, I would fix it. Lalo na nung it was just you and me, Jim. I would fix it. So parang ako, relax ako naman mag-aayos niyan eh. But I didn't realize that it was, I was living alone for a whole, it's not about us. Pero yun nga.
kala ko ba it is?
Hindi kasi, ang haba pa nung list nung stress ako sa time. But sige, okay. So it wasn't, it was more of, it was okay with me eh. That there's stuff out. And I'm gonna get to that later. Parang ganon. Pero ikaw, it bothered you and it was a shared space. And in communicating better, then I understood that. And yun nga, parang sometimes, up to now, si Jim, sometimes, he will not close the toothpaste cap. Thank God naka-LASIK na yung eyes niya kasi before yung contact lens case mo, you wouldn't put back. But in everything else, you were very, very clean. But there were those small things. And because nga it didn't bother me. It wasn't a big deal.
A flag. Oh.
It wasn't. Yeah, so.
Ako naman.
Flag ba yun, Jim?
Well, kasal na kasi tayo when I realized na. So, hindi.
Gago ka. Pero hindi, Jim clay go ako pag nasa ibang place.
Yeah.
As in, I will clean up yung pinagkainan.
Yeah, I think yun naman yung difference.
But if it was, kasi I felt like it was my space and it was, as a creative, charot.
Well, hindi ka naman kasi like, hindi ka naman like kadiri.
Hindi naman kadiri, it's just like.
No, I mean like, hindi ka kadiri. Like, kumbaga, you always smell nice. So parang.
Okay, I guess that excuses it.
Yeah, like, bango-bango mo.
Pwede bang i-clarify natin? It's like, PR kids na nabuksan tapos hindi tinapon yung mga ganun lang naman eh, okay? Relax.
Yeah, diba yung lagi yung nagsasnap ka sa akin yung, ano yung tawag ko sa'yo? Langgam queen? Ano yung joke ko sa'yo na lagi ka napipikon before?
Hindi ko maalala. Baka
queen of the ants at
What are you talking about? Food?
Kasi may mga chocolate sa kama, ganun.
How dare you? Walang chocolate sa kama, hayop ka. Langgam ka. Walang chocolate sa kama. Hashtag walang choknat sa kama. Ikaw talaga, susuki ta for libel. Charot. Okay, game. Next. Asks for the bill even if you're still eating. Oh, that sucks. Again, it depends. Like, are you in a hurry?
Ano again, subjective. Ganito na lang, to make this exercise better, let's assume na lang na hindi tayo.
Okay.
Parang when we were dating people.
Okay,
game.
Okay.
And that's the answer. Okay, let's go.
Asks for the bill even if you're still eating.
I wouldn't mind.
This says, it depends kung
I don't care.
nagmamadali.
Parang efficient siya. Cool.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, that's not. Wait.
Kung nagmamadali siya to go somewhere else without you, that would be like insulting to me. Or
Yeah.
kung nagmamadali siyang umuwi to spend more time with you. I don't know.
Okay, go.
Gay. Enjoy. Charot. Quote unquote, send ka bikini pic. Red flag.
Major red flag.
Red flag yun for me.
I always said this, no? Hindi. I always say this, Ben.
Ano?
Me, Manny, Kyle, and Ali are the gentlemanest men
Gentlest men?
I know. And we would never send bikini pic.
I noticed you did not include Enzo and Jason in that sentence.
Labo.
That's for another
Hindi ko alam yung dating
episode.
history nila.
Okay, next. Rarely or almost never says I love you. Oh. Again, I think it's
Hindi, for you nga, personally. Imagine mo na hindi ako.
kung wari mag I love you ako. Well, if it was in my case and I would say,
Hello?
Are you not gonna say it? And then I'll say, baby, alam mo sometimes I get hurt. Shut up.
Hindi talaga, actually just, nung naging tayo, dun lang ako natuto na,
Ako lang kasi minahal mo. Chara! Red flag ba yun?
Natuto ako maging generous I love you.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, our family was not an I love you family.
Well, whoever sent this in, you should just tell the person. Okay.
Go.
When they're too affectionate, kahit bago pa lang kayong nagde-date, hashtag love bombing. You know, 2 people used this hashtag. I've never heard it before.
That's
hashtag
a cool
love
hashtag.
bombing.
I like it.
Overly affectionate bago pa lang kayo. Yun, red flag yun sa akin.
Red flag sa'yo?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't I like that?
No.
Di ba?
No. You were like, we're not gonna talk about each other.
Pero di ba nga yung joke natin, lagi-lagi tayo nag-PDA tapos nandun tayo sa kahera.
Hindi naman.
Kahera ng landmark.
Pero hindi naman tayo bagong-bago lang nun.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Yung bagong-bago pa lang kayo, parang getting to know you pa lang, tas biglang, parang, you're gonna sleep na, miss you, my baby princess, mga ganun.
Hindi ba physical yung love bomb?
Hindi. Ay. Hindi ko alam.
Ako, when I remember na medyo na freak out ako. Tama yun. Like, one in the first weeks, months. Hindi naman months. Pero like, I remember every time I would have a girlfriend na bago, parang hindi ako kinikilig when parang the minute na nag-propose ako, parang biglang
Propose? What a word.
parang bigla akong like, fuck.
Trap.
parang pressure. Like, shit.
What is too affectionate kahit bago pa lang kayong nagde-date?
Hindi, yun nga. Parang baka ba masyadong grabe yung pag-grasp sa kamay. Thigh diving.
Thigh diving? Is that a term? Hashtag thigh diving. But yeah, if you feel like someone's love bombing you, you better call them out because that's not okay. If you're not comfortable with it, you better say it. Okay? Draw the line.
How do you do that though?
You say, I'm not ready for that. Diba? Tapos kung insistent sila, sobrang black flag.
Yeah, you can say like,
Black flag.
excuse me, we're in church and I can feel your boner.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of church, there's one here that says, doesn't want to go to church. You can pray daw kasi anytime or anywhere. Ako,
That's not. Parang I would respect the person. Again, it depends on...
Lahat na lang it
Hindi.
depends.
Parang
Totoo, diba? It
if I
does.
met the girl and the girl said like, kumbaga her reasoning was valid and, I would respect that na parang... Kasi, like, yun nga. Like, I have my own takes about Sunday Mass,
Yeah.
diba? And like, I wouldn't want someone thinking that I'm not a godly person because I don't like this one ritual.
Yeah, that's true. And the best way to, if you really do want to get her to go to church, get him or her to go to church, I think it's by showing nga na parang it works for you. And then maybe they'll get curious, diba? Pero if you're judging them for not going to church, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, next is following so many girls on Instagram. Naka all caps yung so many girls.
That's a red flag for me.
Talaga?
I think...
What if marami siyang girls na friends?
Ba yun? Pero kunwari like puro... Actually...
Puro bikini pics?
Kasi kunwari, let's say again, I go back to my...
North Star?
To my Kyle, Manny... tingnan mo yung mga pina-follow nila, yung at most... as like parang the equivalent of like hashtag, quote-unquote, porn stars on Instagram is what? Natalie Portman?
Lauren Tsai.
Na yun. Parang cuteness. Iba naman yung cuteness sa... Pero actually, hindi ko gets. It's like... Okay, now I'm trying to put myself in the girl's position. Let's say yung puro fina-follow niya ay mga
I think it would be a flag of how inept this person is about social media and how everyone can see what you're liking.
Pero again, ayun nga, it depends eh. Pero kunwari, let's say if it's puro mga celebrity crushes, parang okay lang naman yun.
Anyway, okay, next is checks in on me only when it's convenient for him. Well, that's definitely subjective. I don't think that's
Yeah.
But if it's really, I think you guys need to talk. Anyway, listens to friends' opinions more than mine, even if I've already said the same thing.
Laugh trip. Yeah, I think that's a red flag.
Sometimes we're like that with each other. Right? I think it's ako,
no. Sorry. I
ako
take it
sometimes
back.
it's like that. But it's hard not to take it personal. But the thing is, because you're so close to each other, it feels like you have the same brain. So parang, okay. But when you hear it from an external person or external factor, parang nag-iiba.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang ganun. So I would advise you not to take it so personally and you tell them that it bothers you. And then, yeah, I don't think it's a super red flag. Okay, talks about his parents in a bad way. I think that's a flag. That's a red flag.
But what if the parents are abusive and horrible parents? Again, depends. Pero if let's assume na lang, hindi. Let's assume lang na parang, tang-ina nun, hindi ako pinayagan eh. Parang ganon. Kung ganon, yeah, that's a red flag.
I had a friend who was always saying parang, like screaming sa mom niya sa phone pag tumatawag.
What?
Yeah. Stop calling me! Ganon. So,
sino to? Ay, fuck.
And then parang, yeah.
Yuck.
Mga, ganon. Kulit eh! Ganon. It's like, it's disrespectful.
And
Pero,
the parents are nice.
And
diba?
they're nice. I mean, yeah.
I mean, they're not abusive and whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, di ka, seen pero di nagre-reply.
Not really.
Depends. Anyway, next. Okay, gets na depends yun. It's so hard. Init lagi ng ulo pag nagde-drive. That's a baby pink flag. That's a red flag actually. That's a red flag and it should be brought up. Like,
I think
problema mo?
I have a counter to that. It's a baby pink if generally he's an anxious dude and mainitin yung ulo niya. I think it's a red flag if he's such a timid guy, quiet, patient, pero pagdating sa kotse, Meaning may,
Mura fest?
anong tawag doon? May putok?
May putok?
May tinatagong,
Asim?
hindi may,
Kulob?
hindi may,
Pitik?
hindi,
Pitik!
hindi, alam ko may pitik, pero may bahid.
Hindi yun noun.
Ate?
Ate, what's bahid?
bahid?
Can you make that bahid? Gags.
Next.
Hindi. Anyway,
May kutog.
may kutob.
Kutob.
Hindi. Kutob is a...
Yeah, a feeling.
Yeah. Overly curious about your past relationships. Overly is the key word here.
Yeah, I think that's a baby.
It's a baby pink flag.
Baby
It
pink
could
that
be
you can
part
easily
of,
communicate.
Yeah, I think it could be part of like a past trauma.
Yeah.
Diba? Na
Yeah.
parang...
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Anyway. Doesn't want to talk about issues or arguments.
Oh yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, something that you can talk through.
Mm-hmm.
Not following small traffic rules. Ugh. Hate that.
Yeah, that would be a red flag.
That's a
for
red
me.
flag.
I'm imagining.
Ito. Questionable. Still listens to or watches problematic artists. Because there are two sides to that eh.
Ala.
Diba?
Let's say kunwari, oh my God, listen to this. This is Harry Duque.
Hindi. It's Duke's latest hit, man.
I can only name first name ni Gagong Duque.
Si Harry?
Hindi, Duque.
Sek? Charot.
Ano ni Duque?
Hindi ko alam. Anyway,
Well,
what about
nakakaya.
The Baby?
Hindi ko alam yun eh, pero
Marilyn Manson.
ayun, kunwari, let's say, we're
Ay,
in
ang
the
basura
car,
na nga yung-
tapos siya parang, grabe, pakinggan mo to. Ang lupit talaga nito.
Pero ang hirap kasi...
Again, it depends how they will react. If you
Yeah.
say, pero I don't, kunwari, magsabi ka na, pero gago yan eh. Di ba?
Mm.
Like, or kunwari, di ba pido yan or something?
yeah.
And then let's say she says, well, it's okay. Parang, he's ano naman eh. Parang if ganun yung defense niya. Parang if, I would rather say, I know, hassle talaga. Pero, wala, I really grew up
I really
loving
can't
this
stop
song.
listening to Michael Jackson.
I see it
parang
as a
ganun.
different person na ganyan, whatever.
Ah.
Next.
Tama ka doon, Jem.
Yeah, so it's the reaction.
Ito weird, hindi ko gets to. Commuting to his place even though he has a car. Is that bad?
Labo. What's wrong with that?
Hindi ko alam. Ba't kaya? May tinatago? Ganun ba yung iniisip ng girl?
Nagtitipid ng gas.
Oh,
Walang parking.
okay. Breakan mo na yan, charot. Titipid pala sa parking eh. Charot. Heart reacts sa post ng ex kahit na sinabi mong you find it wrong. Okay, red flag. Sinabi mo na nga eh. I think may context yon and that's a red flag. Okay? Saying bakla as an insult. Okay. That's a red flag. Lalo na kung you've already educated them on this and they still do it. Ugh, no.
Yeah.
Super toxic trash talker with anger management issues when gaming. Ako hindi naman.
Yeah. I mean, like, I remember, sabi,
Nag-Dota
time-
tayo before?
Hindi, I remember one time, si Panch, yung kasama namin before sa linya-linya. So we were super close and then he went to the condo tapos nag-inuman kami tapos nag-2K kami. I grew up talaga in a parang
Trash talkan?
in an environment na gano'n. Na parang sobrang normal yung mga, gano'n, yung mga parang
Panis!
parang,
Mga ganun.
parang, wala. As in like talaga, and then I was on a rampage. Like parang, okay. Gumagano na ako. Tapos mga first quarter pa lang. Like ko, ano, gusto, may ibang tao na sila Alice. So like ko, plus 80 na lang, no? Plus 80? Sino?
Jeff's the worst.
And then
when
I
this comes
until now, I remember his face.
Oh.
And it was like, in pure shock. Like, who is this person?
Oh, Jim, you're a red flag.
Pero saya kasi.
I guess like trash talk with consent.
Tapos parang with Manny, like, lagi ako talagang in his face literally. Tapos sabihin ko, face.
Annoying. I can't. So, is it a red flag?
No.
Well, easy for you to say.
I think that would be cute niya eh.
What if you're playing with your boyfriend tapos tinatrash talk ka ng sobrang below the belt
Yun,
shit?
o naman.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, o naman.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not even gonna. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Playing games is not a reason to go below the belt. Teasing for the fun of it is
Yeah.
okay. Pero kung sinabi nga niyang toxic trash talker with anger management issues.
Iba naman yun. Ako, parang kung alasing, yun talagang parang, parang borderline gusto nila magpakamatay. Yeah, that's.
Whoa, okay. Ito, when they're mad and they tend to hit things or walls,
Oh
it
shit.
could be their way of showing you how much they actually want to hit you. Form of domestic violence or intimidation. Well, that's I think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
And it's disturbing. Could be because of how they were parang yung past traumas nga nila or whatever. But definitely if it's scaring you, you have to let them know na you have to stop or it's over.
Yeah, kasi ako naman, like, I have a lot of,
Actually, sorry, I take it back. Even if it's not scaring you, it has to
Yeah.
stop.
parang, and the best way to stop it is to express how it's scary.
Yeah.
So parang ako, marami akong tics eh.
Mm.
Diba? Like, slamming the table, slamming my leg. Like, ay nako. Ganun ko.
Mm.
And Saab had to talk to me, and when she told me na, that really, parang, it's such a bad environment to hear you do that. So ako like, oh fuck, okay. Every time I catch myself doing that, I'm like, oh fuck, okay.
Oh, yeah. So it could be solved naman with proper communication.
Yeah.
Okay, last na. Ito, not a registered voter.
Red flag dump.
Well, he still has 30 days? No,
29 days.
29 days, less than 30 days.
So guys, please register and vote.
They should extend the voter
They
registration.
should extend it.
But anyway,
Let's do that in another pod. This was fun.
yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Wag mo nang balikan yung ex mong toxic. Okay.
Check out MKM. And
Makinig ka muna.
Yeah, makinig ka muna. Bye.
Bye! What time was that?
Probably 1 a.m.
Paasa talaga!
Ito kasi yung
Does that voice sound familiar? It should. That's Kalel from our previous Malibag episodes. He has an update. Listen to Makinig Ka Muna, the podcast, for his episode coming out this Friday.